Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to NOLA Theater Talk. My name is Alan Smason, and again, glad to be with you on this very festive, somewhat chilly night for New Orleans. But again, as we approach the holidays, we have some things to talk about, what's going on in theater. And again, we broadcast this to our NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group. We live stream it as well to the theatercriticism.com Facebook page and my own YouTube channel. So those of you who are looking forward to seeing the broadcast know where to go. And those of you who perhaps want to check it out later, you'll know where it will be posted, archived, as it were. We remind everybody that if you want to participate tonight, ask a question, perhaps leave a comment. One of the ways that Facebook makes certain that you are a qualified person to deal with a third party proprietary kind of a situation interfacing with Facebook, such as would be with StreamYard here. They ask you to please go on to this link, and StreamYard will then be allowed, permissible from Facebook's standpoint to put your names up. So if not, you're sort of application non grata, I guess you might say. So essentially, we have that to take care of for tonight. We're not going to have a full hour-long show, but for about a half an hour, maybe a little longer, and the feeling of our guest, however long she wants to stay. But we do have a very wonderful guest that we're happy to have on the show for tonight to promote an upcoming show that'll be coming up on Thursday night. Those of you who don't know, we're going to tell you all about it in just a couple of minutes. Did want to remind everybody, though, that in the meantime, if you are looking to talk about anything to do with theater, stick around after the interview portion is over with tonight. We may have some time to entertain any questions or perhaps respond to any comments that you might have. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our guest for this evening. Again, there are those people who we know are native-born New Orleanians, and we're very happy to make their acquaintance, know who they are through the years. And then, of course, there are those who are New Orleanians by choice, and that's what happens to be in the case of our guest tonight. We're going to bring her into the room now. And again, we want to thank her for being with us. And again, for those of you who are not familiar, this is a performer, somebody who's been involved in theater for a good long time. I don't want to say too long. Don't want to make her seem older than she is. But new to New Orleans, at least since about 2014 or 2013, somewhere in that range. Let's welcome to the program, Kate Fagan. And
hey,
Kate,
hey, Alan.
When did you actually come in? When was it? Was it?
It's been 8 years.
8
Going
years.
8.5 years now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that, and again, I don't know that we will go into it too much, but your husband and I are friendly. We know each other. He's been on this show before, and I know that he had been at Indiana for a long time. Is that where you all met?
No, we met in Chicago at the High School for the Arts.
Oh, okay.
He was the head of the theater department, and I did recruiting and marketing and advertising and communications for the school. And we met, so it was with all those dramatic high school students. You can imagine dating in that situation was quite a scandal for the students, but it was fun. But that's where we met. Mm-hmm.
That's that. So and you've been married for
a while.
Oh wow. Okay, but now when he retired, and again, just so anybody doesn't know, your husband is Bruce Burgun. Bruce, of course, as you mentioned, was at Indiana University, and essentially running a lot of the theater there. Also, a member of the John Jefferson Theater Awards. He was part of that process. He would help nominate, and this is all the Chicago area, Chicago land theater, right? For the
Right.
most part. And
For the most part, although he did get involved in Indianapolis
yeah,
and Bloomington and the surrounds.
okay.
He did do quite a few things. He
And then
directed and
when he
acted.
retired, he came down to New Orleans. Now, did he come down to New Orleans because you were both interested in coming to New Orleans? What was it that drew you here?
Well, part of it was the deal that we made, that if I was going to spend time in Indiana, I got to pick the next place. So I wanted to live in New Orleans, and he liked New Orleans, so here we are.
Isn't that wonderful? Well,
Yeah.
Indiana's loss is our gain, and we're happy to have you, and have
Oh,
been happy to
thanks.
have you for a while. And again, a lot of times that I see you in public, you're sort of accompanying Bruce, and now this is a little bit different. This is going to be an
Right.
opportunity for him to accompany you.
Yeah.
And let me go ahead and if I may, I want to throw up, we have opportunities to throw some things up from time to time, and I wanted to throw up one of the pieces that you had sent me, as it were, about what is going to be happening, and I wanted to make sure that I had I know I had both of them, so I want to make sure I have them both. But the first piece is, I think, uh, the um, the piece of just you, just a photo of just you, a nice photo,
Thank you. It's
obviously, in the background. But
obviously the same hat I have on
uh-huh,
right
uh-huh.
now. Yeah.
So again, a little festive there, and then you did have the whole shot that you had of everything that you are going to be talking about tonight, and again, basically, this in a capsule. It's a little busy, what we call graphics wise, is a little busy, but it's got all the information you want to know about, because this is it. Let me remove your banner, and let's see if we can see it all. There you go. So this is it. This is what we're talking about tonight. This coming Thursday night at 7 o'clock, the Always Lounge and Cabaret,
Right.
also known as the Always Theater at one time,
Right.
and other names. And you're going to have a band. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and then
Mhm.
a record release celebration and the show, and it's all $20, right? That's it.
That's it.
So that tiny URL, the URL, that's SHZKPDEF. Why do I have a feeling that I'm speaking to an optometrist and getting an eye
I
exam?
know. I know. It's um bold type, which is through Gambit, has a ticket service, and that's what that is. And I think if you Google the Ho 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 show, you will find the ticket link
Well, I'm going to put that up in a little
comes
bit.
out.
But it's time to reveal what kind of holiday treats we have here. And I made this very quickly tonight. You know what this is, and if you don't know what it is, it should be a giveaway because of the
Is that a
cover.
mule?
It is, and it is not only a mule, it is an absolute, if you can see it, Moscow mule, says it right there. But not only is it a Moscow mule, beautifully done with the sweat going down on it, but it's actually in a solid copper cup.
Oh, how did that come about?
Well,
Moscow mules were
Tales of the Cocktail celebrated the 75th anniversary of the Moscow Mule about maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe around the time y'all were moving here, and they gave out the solid gold, solid copper cups, as it were, with emblazoned with the name Moscow Mule on them, to anybody who attended this gathering at what used to be the old restaurant Maley's, and it's like where Walk-Ons is now.
right.
And they had people dressed up representing 75 years previous as to when the Moscow Mule was invented, and basically it was a story about how the Smirnoff company representative got together with the ginger beer guy, who was a group called Cock and Bull, and of course was represented by a rooster and obviously a bull, and that
Yeah.
was the original ginger beer that they used with Smirnoff to make the original recipe for the
Wow.
Moscow Mule with lime juice, etc., and that was it. And apparently, the person that they decided to go with to get the drink cup had a connection with copper, and they thought, oh, that would be a cool way to keep it cool,
Right.
etc. So that's kind of what I got there. And again, I've had them before, but it's a nice throwback, a nice festive drink for the holidays. And so that's what I got with me tonight. Now, what did you bring in the room?
I brought in just a little, white wine to kind of, yeah,
Okay.
just a little, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the show. What is it that this show is going to have? I mean, you mentioned a band. How many piece band do you have?
Well, let me tell you about how I came up with this show.
Okay.
I've always loved the innuendo music from a lot of the female blues artists and R&B artists that have that sort of, put your spoon in my sugar bowl and your, key in my lock and those kinds of little shake your, booty little
Well,
flirty
you
songs.
used to call that dirty blues, right? This is
Yeah,
gangster blues, right? Okay, gotcha.
or we called it innuendo music. I don't know, but um, so I've been collecting those songs, and I've really wanted to do a record or something or a show with those songs. But at the same time, I've always been collecting unusual or interesting Christmas music. So I was thinking that I wanted to produce a show instead of have a band because I've been in a band, same band for decades out of Chicago. And I really wanted to do something different that didn't involve, that kind of collaboration. I wanted to be more of a director myself. So I kind of, was in the scene a couple of years here, well, about 4 years here. And I thought, well, where can I sort of fit in here? And what is and what isn't playing around in the clubs and what kind of, just sort of thinking about prospects and possibilities. And I did wander into the Always Lounge, which I walked in and I said, I want to buy this place because it is the ultimate, kind of show lounge from, back in the day with the red velvet curtains and the sort of, the bar, the horseshoe bar that's leather, all that kind of look to it, that, the old fashioned vaudevillian kind of look. And I really liked the venue and I started talking to them about the idea of producing a Christmas cabaret type of show. And the Always Lounge / cabaret really liked the idea. So I started that. And then last year when we couldn't do it because of COVID, I thought, I want to keep this going. I want to work with the people I've been working with. I'd like to sort of be able to pay for some studio time and help them keep working. So I decided to do a single of the Ho 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 show and just put it out last Christmas. Well, COVID raged on, and I enjoyed working with those musicians so much. And by this time, I was seriously looking on the internet for songs constantly.
Right.
And I came up with another handful of songs. And I just enjoyed doing it. So I put out this record called the Ho 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 Party. Yeah, there it is, the Ho 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 Holiday Party. And it is a party record. I just got a review in Chicago and they said it seems like the kind of music that you walk into a party that's already been going on for a couple of hours. But it's fun. It's got innuendo. It's got Ella Fitzgerald, Santa Claus Got Stuck in My Chimney. It has a song called Santa Lost a Hoe. Where'd the other hoe go? I don't know. Santa lost a hoe. And, some cute, kiss you under the mistletoe tree and I really enjoyed doing it. I like the way it turned out. And to my surprise, I had always been intimidated by the quality of musician in New Orleans. Now I came here because I love music here, but I never considered myself of that caliber because I've been kind of a rock and roller out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But with COVID and with musicians being at home, I picked up the phone and started calling people like Wendell Brunius and Tom Hook and, John Paxton. And they were all, yeah, love to do it. And came in and just brought all their talent, brought all their chops, brought in their own ideas. And they didn't mind masking up and being, separated in different rooms. And it really, I think, was a bright spot for a lot of us during COVID. We could actually see other people and make music with them in person and not just, Zooming all the time. So I think there's a lot of joy in the record, and I think it was a lot of fun for us to do.
Did you by any chance, since you mentioned them by name, Wendell Brunius and Tom Hook, did you by any chance catch their show on Louis Armstrong?
I did not catch their show on Louis Armstrong, and I am really sorry about that. And I just did go to say hi to them at Los Jefes. How was the show?
It was super. They did a wonderful job. What it was really a show without a book, for the most part. The individual band members, and there were I think 6, would take turns reading off things about Louis Armstrong's life and essentially introduce different songs that were very pivotal songs during the life of Louis Armstrong. And so they really, Tom Hook, of course, is a musical genius. There's no doubt in my mind that he should be, celebrated every day for his talent. And what he did was he listened to the old Louis Armstrong Hot Fives, Hot Sevens, and he got down those orchestrations in his head, and he wrote them out by hand.
Oh yeah,
and so what you had was the ensemble jazz playing that was evocative of the period, say, between 1917 and, let's say, 1925, 26. And he got all of that down to where, people who were famous like Nick LaRocca and the original Dixieland Jazz Band, all of those types of styles of playing, which was an ensemble type of playing, prior to the introduction of lead musicians like Louis Armstrong, who would play the song and then send it around, etc. This was all ensemble playing. Everybody played everything together. They didn't pass it around. So it was really wonderfully done. And of course, when they did some of the more recent decades of Louis Armstrong, everything with What a Wonderful World and Hello Dolly, etc. They did those songs as well. But if you knew John and you knew Tom, I think that Wendell and Tom both did a great
they have a long history together.
Yeah,
and
at Dos Jefes, if you've never seen them at Dos Jefes, that's another great spot to catch them as well. So now
do requests.
Who else is in the band though besides them? I mean, that's obviously a good start.
Okay. Well, they are on the recording. Okay, the band and Sam Albright, a fabulous bass player, plays with I think Louis Prima's daughter, Lena. He played bass on everything on my CD, and he's been in the Ho 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 show 4 years. So he's somebody that's great, and I've had him for a long time. Josh Paxton playing piano
on the piano, right?
And he's great. He played with Maria Muldaur for years, of course. And he's on piano.
He's played. I know a couple of gigs that I was at.
And I have Ortner.
The Fisker sisters too. Yeah, at one point they had a couple of. And who else?
Yeah. And Debbie Davis. And, Susanna Ortner, I think she's one of the best clarinet players right now in town. She's from Germany. She was very, very, had a very prestigious kind of education and career there, and loved New Orleans. And she's just a wonderful player. And now that we don't have Evan Christopher here, he moved to New York. I think she's very good too, let's just say, and I'm really thrilled to have her. It adds such a happy sound. I've played with sax players before, but I've never played with a clarinet player before. and she's very distinguished, and she just adds such a pizzazz, such a call and answer for me vocally.
Sure.
And then just that soaring kind of Benny Goodman Christmassy feel that
Mhm.
I think is like so fun at this time of year to hear that kind of music. On drums, I have a guy named Rich Collins, and does he's done a lot, maybe 500 songs for Disney.
Oh,
So he's done their TV shows and other things for Disney. So he has an interesting career doing music for television mainly, but he's a great drummer. And my studio engineer brought his name forward to me because he is very precise. And when you're recording, you want very precise drumming so that you can, edit. You can't
right,
have the drummer slower and then speeding up.
right. No, I understand.
So
So,
he recommended him because of his precision, and he's very tasty. He's a very, very, very good drummer. And then I'm the band that I mentioned before that I've been in for a million years in Chicago is called Heavy Manners, and it's a ska band. And my the sax player who's excellent in that band, now he's living in Nashville. He is coming in to spend Christmas with us.
oh,
He's Jewish, and he's called me and he said, I don't have anywhere to go. And I said, come here and be in my show. So he's coming here. And he's an excellent sax player and a real treat here because he only plays with me.
so you're gonna have both saxophone and clarinet, as well as bass and drums and piano,
Yeah,
right?
and Blake Quick on guitar.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
band called the Quickening, so he's really well known around town. And then Mike Harvey, who plays with, forgive me, Mike, I don't know your band's name, but it's like the Django music, that old timey music. He plays fiddle. He's wonderful. So these other instruments, I will be moving in and out of songs. So we'll do a sort of finale at the end. But one might have a sax, one might have a fiddle, one might have a combination of things, and a couple don't have anybody but me and a piano. So I like a lot of variety. It is a variety show. And there's a burlesque artist that does 2 Christmas songs with us, and she's very tasteful and very beautiful and very sweet. So she will be in the show as well.
Um, I'm trying to see if I can get the tiny URL thing, the URL to show up. Let's see if I can. Let's see if is that right? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. So
Yep.
hopefully, now I don't know if it matters if it's a capital letters or not, but I think now.
I don't think so. I don't think it really matters.
No.
But we are, and I want to say we're very cognizant of health issues and
Yeah.
situations. We are asking for a vax card, and
Yeah.
I hired an extra doorman myself to make sure that everybody is completely legit and checked out.
Yeah.
And same with everybody. Everybody's been vaccinated, of course, in the show and boosted and everything, and taken and test themselves. So we're hoping to have a really safe environment because in other words, we're just not going to be cavalier.
Right.
We're really, all of us in the music community as well as the theater community, we really do not want to close up again.
No.
We
And
want to keep going.
last week I was in New York,
Yeah.
coming up with a wonderful trip. Actually came back a week ago tonight, so I was there actually a little bit longer than a week ago.
Yeah.
But I actually saw 8 shows in 6 days, and I have to say I was very fortunate. I did not have any shows that I saw that were canceled due to COVID
Mhm.
or for whatever reasons they had a problem and they had to
Mhm.
miss a performance. That was not the case last week and is not the case this week,
I know.
unfortunately. Several of the shows, 4 of them, company that I saw, Mrs. Doubtfire, Tina, and Jagged Little Pill all had closures, cancellations for some reason. In some cases, some of the shows are not, like Aladdin, are not going to open back up. Hamilton are not going to open back up until after Christmas, just because they want to be safe, but also because they can't take any chances.
It's so hard
Yeah.
I was just at my niece's wedding a couple weeks ago, and she canceled the whole year,
Yeah.
and then December was coming up, and a lot of her friends were coming in from out of town, and she was like, God, we've been trying to get married for 2 years now.
Right.
So
I
we
had a
went
niece
ahead
the
and did
same
it.
way.
Everybody was safe.
My niece found a window of opportunity in August, and she got married. But everybody who went there had to have a vaccination, because her answer was, if you're vaccinated, feel free, come and celebrate with us. If you're not, you can watch it on the video.
Yeah.
We'll have a video play for you, so you can see it remotely, but you're not welcome necessarily to be there and have a problem, cause a potential problem. But even the big Radio City Music Hall show with the Rockettes was canceled, unfortunately.
But let's not scare people into not coming to the
No,
show.
that's New York, and New York is different than here in New Orleans. We have not had any cancellations due to any problems, and I don't think that we will.
I don't either.
This city has been pretty good in terms of and even in New York, I have to say, every restaurant I went to, every bar I went into, they insisted on seeing the vaccination slip. Or luckily in New Orleans and Louisiana, we have everything on phone if you've got the LA Watch, and so that was great. I could show them both the one time.
And I know from club owners that there are people that are coming in and making sure that like decoys that are making sure that all the nightclubs and bars are checking, and they're not getting loose about it, because you can get fined here for that. And,
sure.
And that's happening, and they close places down. So I think they've really, have made a precedent here that let's them know that New Orleans wants to stay open, and we don't want to be cavalier about it.
So
we want to do our diligence.
Tell me a little bit about you've already touched on it a little bit, but some of the titles of the songs that are on your album, as opposed to what you're going to be doing in the live show. Maybe they'll be the same, but what's on the album, in case somebody's interested in getting that album? You say it's going to be the release party on Thursday, right?
Yeah, it is, and as I showed you, here it is.
So what do you have on? What kind of songs do you have on that?
I have Hey Santa, What's in That Bag for Me. I have What Do Bad Girls Get, which is asking Santa. What do bad girls get? I do a version of I Want to Kiss You All Over, and I've changed the lyrics around a little bit, so it says Underneath the Mistletoe.
Okay.
I have a song called All I Want for Christmas Is to Lay Around and Love on You. I have Santa Lost a Hoe, which I told you about.
Yes.
I have a song called Champagne, Champagne, which is a beautiful song. That one and Santa Lost a Hoe and a couple of the other songs, people have asked me, did you write them? Because they had never, ever heard these songs. Right. I have a girlfriend in Bloomington, Indiana, who's a wonderful writer. Her name is Krista DeTour, and she wrote a song for the CD, and it's called Hot Buttered Rum. Whoa. And it's a cute drinking song that's on there. And so there's 2 drinking songs on there. And if you come to my show, we do like a little drinking game. So that's always part of the whole show.
You haven't lived until you've gone to the to Revel, the bar that's on Carrollton, with my friends Chris and Laura McMillan, and have them make a hot buttered rum for you, because they really do a good job. So
is that where they have oysters?
They did have oysters there, as well as other types of.
I'm thinking I might have been there with you.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
don't you? We really miss live theater. We've really been.
It's been tough.
It's been tough. We really feel like we were big fans of Southern Rep, and a lot of things they were doing we really enjoyed.
Yeah, well, the Southern Rep, of course, just had an opportunity this past week where they had the Thanksgiving play. It was the first time they came back, and since the pandemic.
But they canceled when we were going.
Oh, I'm sorry to see it. Yeah, the first week, I believe what happened was, and they didn't go into all the details, but I believe that what happened was is that one of the actors who was slated to play in the piece either got another job or had to pull out very suddenly, and
Oh
they had to
no.
actually replace somebody
Mhm,
in the role, unfortunately.
mhm.
And you don't want to talk bad about something like that, but when an actor does commit to be in
Oh
a
yeah.
particular work, you hope and you pray that they can stay the whole time. Sometimes, however, work comes along that's more lucrative, and you have to let them go in a sense that you don't want to hold them back career wise, even though it's not just their career that's being affected, but everybody who's in that production,
I know.
is having to take that particular decision and have to deal with it. And in last week, that was the case. They were unable to do the show due to that, and hopefully, you know, they had a lot of good positive reinforcement, people coming back to say welcome back, because it's been a good long time, and Southern Rep has really taken it on the chin in terms of I would say probably in terms of any one company, they've probably suffered more than any during the pandemic. Obviously, people have lost artistic directors. They lost an artistic director. Um, the people over at Le Petit lost an artistic director who was there.
Mhm,
They lost
mhm.
their lease on their building, which others have not, and they're really trying to come back and trying to come back with a different, I think, approach to what they have been doing. And I think that part of their philosophy now is that they're going to try to represent more of the unrepresented factions of New Orleans than they had been prior. But I have to say that pre pandemic, Southern Rep was noted as being probably the best producing company for new plays.
Yeah,
And I don't know whether or not that's going to still be the same or not, but I hope that they will continue to produce new plays because new plays are, the
right,
I guess you might say that, the lifeblood of theater.
right,
We can always see an old chestnut or two on a bill
right.
and not have a problem with it. But in order to get the voice out of some of
Mhm,
these new playwrights and get certain issues that are bringing to the fore that people will discuss about what's happening socially and
mhm.
perhaps
Emotionally.
psychologically, what's
Mhm,
happening, et cetera, all of the things that are affecting us, that's where new plays are so important, and they bring more
mhm.
for us to think about and for us to discuss and to feel in a darkened theater together. So it's really important
I
that we have
know.
that. Yeah.
It really
So
is, and for all the talent in this town. We just don't like it to be a drain of, our talent here.
yeah,
And, it's just, that also with Southern Rep, the building that they had, acquired was such a nice space, and to not really be able to have that cut short of
yeah,
being a money maker for them was
yeah.
I felt for them. I
Yeah.
really
Well,
did.
and I talked to a May. I offered a May an opportunity to come on the show after she, announced that she was leaving. And at one point, she was going to come on, and then decided against it. And this program is open to Amy anytime she wants to come on and talk. I'm
Mhm,
very happy to have her on. Same thing with Maxwell at Le Petit. Anybody who has been at the head of a
mhm,
production like that, a production company like that, and had to move on for whatever reasons during the pandemic.
mhm.
I certainly would love to maintain contacts with them, and I actually, did talk not that long ago to Maxwell as well. Uh, in the interim, of course, he's had a new baby, and he and his
Mhm.
wife Christina are very happy that they're very occupied now, being parents and trying to stay here in New Orleans. But it's very difficult, when you're trying to find a job and what have you. I know that Ame, I think, was actually considering at one point maybe going up to New York. I don't know if she actually did do that or not because I've been in contact with her, but I know that at one
Yeah.
point she was going back and forth with her husband,
Mhm.
because she didn't get married. She got married after, So,
Right.
sometimes these things that are life-changing events in terms of the theater companies will actually produce life-changing events within, family structure,
Yeah.
and have an effect on you there. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that we need to have more new plays produced, especially during these turbulent times when there are a lot of social issues that are being brought up, a lot of questions being raised about the past that people have had, and perhaps if there's a way to produce plays and be more responsive to the community at large, as we move forward, and so we will see what we will see. I hope that there will be opportunities that are presented for new people to get involved, and also obviously for those that are already involved to stay here, because it's important that people make that connection with one another.
Yeah, and are supportive of it, and that it's a breeding ground for ideas and talent to work together,
Yeah.
which the music community, I'll have to segue back into music, but the music community here does very much cross-pollinates. And I was really fortunate with this record that I felt like I got a really unique sound with it, because I have a certain more of a rock and roll style. Although I don't think you know this about me, but was Patsy Cline on stage for 3 years.
In
And I was
all Patsy Cline, or what? What
Yeah,
was that?
I was Patsy Cline, and then I was the sub. I subbed in as for the June Carter Cash show in Nashville,
Oh,
because the lead role had breast cancer.
oh,
And I subbed in, but I didn't sub in for very long. But so I've done some country music too. So, but I don't really have jazz in my background, except that my parents loved Dixieland, loved Louis Armstrong.
yeah.
Went to Vegas to see Louis Armstrong, I think, at some point. And so I grew up hearing it, but I really like, and I hope people listen to the record and think that it's kind of a nice cross pollination, and it kind of brings that New Orleans sound that you're used to, that is almost become in some ways a little too familiar. This gives it a new, little fresh feeling to it, a little freshness to it, that I hope people really enjoy. It rocks a little bit, it's sassy a little bit, and just hearing Tom and Wendell on this it was reviewed in Chicago, and the reviewer talked about both of them on this record, how wonderful they sound, how tasty their parts are in it, how they they put so much emotion into their playing, and for each song I thought it was so appropriate and so perfectly done. And it's so fun to bring musicians in, and you don't write a part for them. They find their own part. They hear their own,
Mhm.
what's in their head, and then they play that out. And so you get to combine what you were thinking about with what they're thinking about. And I think the record has a real fresh feel to it. People are really enjoying it. Someone bought 6 of them from me, said I'm going to go to all these parties and I'm going to bring it along and put it on, because it's a really fun record.
Well, it sounds like you've got the situation in hand. About how many people are you trying to fit in at the show?
Well, we're trying to fit in about 60.
60. Okay.
Mhm.
You're going to have a lot of people on stage in the band, though. It seems like it's
Yeah,
a
but
small
that's what
stage.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be rolling them on and off, to a bit,
Oh,
to
I
give it
gotcha.
the variety, and to meet the needs of each song, and also to be able to show off all different kinds of players and artists. I think it's fun when you I like the cabaret idea of something. You bring
Mhm.
somebody up, and then maybe you add to the sound and subtract from it, and it gives keeps it really fresh for the audience. They're looking at somebody different And of course, we all have different costumes and different personas. And we do have banter and MC, and we give away. We have Santa there that gives away like some sort of like little naughty Christmas things out of their sack and fun, silly stuff. And so it's a night of it's fun, and I wanted it to feel like a party that was a cabaret experience. And maybe it's because I've always loved the play cabaret and the beginning, that whole kind of loving life and joie de vivre and come to the cabaret. And I think it's really fun to do during the holidays because it's more of an adult show. It doesn't have anything to do with like pictures of your kids on Santa's lap. Doesn't have anything to do with, getting into a cold car and driving to sing outside somewhere. It just, it's a party. You come for a couple of hours and you have a few drinks and a few laughs, and a lot of people come dressed in their fun finery, and it's I have people say they look forward to it every year, and I certainly do. I have a ball. I mean, I closed the club. It closes at 5. I've stayed that long, and other people have too, because it's just so much fun.
So again, to recap, it's going to be this Thursday, and the time. What time are the doors open?
7:00. 7:00 is the party. 8:00 is
the
when
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can come early and sort of party with us and get ready and get your seat and see your friends, or you can show up at 8 and just jump right into the cabaret show. But, quite a few people come with friends and they enjoy, cocktailing for a half an hour or something, because once the band starts, it's hard to talk to people.
Sure. No, and again, it's a lot of fun. That club has always been interesting in terms of its presentations, whether they had the theater in the back or whether or not they were doing theater presentations in the actual club itself, the lounge itself.
It's very liberal, and it's very it's very accepting. It's very loose. It's very welcoming.
And let me just say one thing for those of you who were looking for holiday fun. One of the shows that had been scheduled at Le Petit on the 21st and the 22nd. Judy, Harry Shearer, and his wife, they canceled due to COVID, unfortunately. So yours is like the only holiday show that I know of going on, cabaret style.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so they put more pressure on you. So you're going to have to do what you can to lift the spirits of those who were looking forward to maybe going over there to see Harry and Judy.
I know. I would. I love them. And I'm sorry they had to cancel.
Yeah.
But yes, if you want to have that little bit of similar kind of ho 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 fun, come over and see our show. I think you'll really like it. Here's one of the posters from it.
Let me bring it up so everybody can see full frame there.
Kind of get an idea there of what the spirit of it is.
Yes. The red nose is not necessarily from drinking, though, right? So again, my best holiday greetings to you. I'm
you too. Thank you.
See if I can make it. I'm not sure that I'll have the opportunity, but I'll see what I can do.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, and in the meantime, I want to invite the entire audience we have here. Of course, this will be archived, so people can see this later on in case.
Oh, good. And I will share it too, and hopefully.
But once again, Kate Fagan, the Saucy Chanteuse, and the Ho 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 Holiday Party. Again, that's the Thursday night, the 23rd, at the Allways Lounge Cabaret. And for those of you who need tickets, this is where you go. And $20, you'll be able to enjoy it.
$17.50 online. 20 at the door.
All right, 20 at the door. So keep that
20 at the door, $17.50 if you do it in advance. But of course, there's a little fee on top of that because it's a ticket thing. But I didn't want anybody to pay more. And I do want to encourage people to buy tickets because I don't know if it will sell out, but we don't want it to be too packed either. I mean,
Right. Yeah, you
as
have to be
things are,
careful.
yeah, we want to
Right.
be careful. We
All
don't
right.
want to just like, well, we can fit in a few more people. We're not going to do that. So
Well,
get your tickets and come by and
I
have fun.
hope that people will avail themselves of the opportunity, have some fun, the ho 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 holiday party, or if you will, the ho 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 show. Again, this is the fourth year running that Kate Fagan has been handling this and putting it on for your listening and maybe occasional dancing pleasure too. You never know.
Oh, plenty of dancing.
Plenty of dancing.
Plenty of dancing, a little bit of sing along. We're gonna do a little, rock around with Rudolph and a little Holly Jolly, but revved up on fiddle and stuff. So people will have plenty of time to prance around.
Well, I appreciate you being on tonight. You
Oh,
know,
thank you.
you were unable to really get contacted by me until after the fact, but I would have liked to have announced this on the Steppin' Out show
Yeah.
last week, but we were jam packed. It was really impossible to get a lot more going, primarily because I was doing so much with
Mhm.
the Broadway reporting as well.
Right.
And I actually packed as much as I could within that limited space that we've got. But
Right.
there's some days where you have a little bit more that you can stretch, and others that it's just so jammed up you just don't have the opportunity to get another word in.
Well,
So
I'll get in line now for next year.
yeah, well, you know what? That'll be good, and maybe next year,
We'll
your
perform.
husband will come. Yeah, but will come on in, and we can actually record you, or if you record yourself, prior, I can upload those videos too. So we can next time we'll have a video maybe of something that you did either live at the Always or perhaps at another venue.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
that's a
Yeah.
promise. All right, happy
Okay.
holidays to
Happy
you.
Halloween.
My
Yes.
wishes again to uh, to your husband as well. And stick around just for a little bit. I'm going to take you out of the room while I say goodbye to everybody. We're going to cut it a little bit short tonight. Normally, we try to keep these shows to an hour, but I'm not going to belabor the point. I know that a lot of people have holiday things to do, and I want to appreciate all of you who are out there listening or who will be listening later on. So again, this is Alan Smason for NOLA Theater Talk, and want to thank you all for being here. And I'll see you all at the theater, and a happy holidays to everybody.